There's always mistakes that's been made, and I think it's important for consumers to find those contractors that stand behind their work and will come in and take care of those mistakes.
That's Utah Representative Mike Schultz talking about why it's important for consumers to research anyone they're hiring to do work on their home. It comes after our report last night where KSL investigators sat down with Schultz to talk about how new Utah laws may or may not be protecting Utah consumers. Brittany Glass has been looking into this issue quite extensively. The question tonight is, how easy is it to just go and find accurate information on contractors?
Well, in my discussion with Representative Schultz, he hearkened back to one agency he thinks does a good job, the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing, or DOPL. They're the ones issuing contractor licenses and investigating consumer complaints. But the couple we had navigate the website told us it's not their best resource.
I want a bigger shower.
Victor and Hannah Sine are looking for someone to remodel the master bath in their Layton home. In a matter of months, it's where they hope to deliver their first baby.
Everything is just so narrow and tight.
They know to do their homework, checking online reviews, the Better Business Bureau, and former customers.
Word by mouth referrals saying they did a great job. We've used them for years, and I know that we've had no issues with them.
But when I asked them if the DOPL database was part of their research,
I have never seen this before.
So I had them poke around the DOPL website. Victor had received a couple recommendations for contractors. But when he searches the DOPL database to see if they were licensed,
nothing's popping up for them. So I don't really know how to use my resources to find a contractor, at least through DOPL. JM.
This time, I had him put in the name of a contractor I knew was licensed.
JM Management. Okay, let's try again.
But the database wouldn't bring up the contractor unless Victor knew exactly how the business spelled its name, spaces and all.
It's like early 2000s, like 90s, when like you had to type in exactly what you're looking for.
Even Hannah, who's a licensed midwife and familiar with DOPL, struggled.
We still couldn't find a contractor through the website.
DOPL is also responsible for disciplining contractors when they break the rules. This ranges from citations all the way to referring criminal charges to the Utah Attorney General. But as I found, consumers don't have access to a lot of that information. Some things you can't search for on the DOPL database: any complaints made about license holders. Those aren't considered public information under Utah law. And any citations? You can't find them here under a license holder's file, whether it's a company or someone's name. Instead, you have to click through monthly discipline newsletters to see if your contractor was cited. And that information isn't searchable. Plus, we found some huge discrepancies in DOPL's data. According to the division, it disciplined 676 contractors in 2019, as of October. But when we went through the monthly disciplinary newsletters, we only found 189. So what happened to the missing 72% of disciplined contractors? When I took all this to DOPL, they didn't want to do an on-camera interview. In a statement, they told us they've requested that the vendor who manages the database make changes so citations are searchable. Well, what about what Victor described as the 90s search engine? DOPL didn't say anything about any updates, only that consumers would need to know how the company spelled its name way back when they registered.
Probably not.
As for Victor and Hannah, they're sticking with referrals and reviews.
It's definitely not the best resource.
DOPL told us consumers can contact them anytime for information or file a public records request. But they say they can't share complaints, only discipline. We found there have been dozens of new laws created around construction the past few years. We wanted to know, who's creating the laws? Do they protect consumers? And what, if any, conflicts of interest do those lawmakers have with construction and development? The KSL Investigates a Building Problem series continues with a look at who's who in Utah's legislature. That's coming up tonight at 10.